Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to XepherGames. So I just wanted to tell you guys all about Fire Emblem Three Houses and why it is in fact made specifically for me personally. I've been playing it obviously non-stop since it came out. I couldn't play it the first like 18 hours of its release and it drove me nuts, but anyway, once I got to playing it, it was so good. I am so drawn into this game. It's not literally perfect, but it's so close and it hits on so many levels that I love that I can easily already call it one of my favorites in the series. Don't know if it's the best yet, but it might be my favorite game. I don't know, whatever. Basically, if it continues to fulfill on all of the promises and all the ideas that they're using in the first like third of the game that I've made it through the end and develop them into cool new ideas, I am going to love this game. Anyway, so obviously a bunch of you have probably already played some of it. And for those of you who haven't, I strongly recommend it, very strongly. There will be no real spoilers in this video because first of all, I'm not even that far. I'm like on chapter 8 or something like that. I don't know exactly how long the game is. I've done really good at not spoiling myself, but like I've, learned a few little things here and there, but basically no spoilers in this video. I don't want to ruin it for any of you. So I'm just going to talk to you guys about some of the new mechanics and why I love this game so much. So let's check it out. Number one of two. I have two reasons why I think this game was like almost literally made for me. Number one, it has a heavy Persona influence, and I know I know this is a comparison that's been made 1,000 times there and back, and Hogwarts and wherever. I'm not really a Harry Potter fan, but I love Persona. Persona is like one of my favorite JRPGs ever made, and Persona 5 specifically is my favorite video game. It is. I love it to death, and this game is the first game that might be able to possibly unseat it from the throne. Because Fire Emblem overall was my favorite game series, but none of the games really hit on every single one of its premises. Like Conquest had really good, fun combat, although some people debate that, but I thought it was one of the best designed combats in the whole series. But the story was really lacking. Like Path of Radiance was a really good overall package, but it didn't really wow you, and it was kind of easy even on the hardest difficulty. Like there's little things, little problems with each game in the series. None of them are perfect. This game isn't perfect either, but it hits on Three Houses, that is, hits on so many of the levels that I want it to. I'm about ready to call it the ultimate Fire Emblem game. Anyway, it has a lot of Persona elements to it. The whole taking time to build up your social links with people, with spark conversations, there's already that similarity, and then they enforce it by having a free time system where you have to manage your time day to day. And this is such a fun system. I have so much fun goofing around literally exploring the monastery over and over again to find little things, little lost items, going around trying to figure out who they belong to. Does this belong to you? Does this belong to you? Does this belong to you? I don't know if you that's a good time. So in any case, in addition to that, you also get awesome stuff like getting to customize all of your units and stuff like that. So dude, the Persona elements are great, and this game is definitely more anime than previous games, and a lot of people have been like, ew, anime influence, and I'm like, the series has always been anime, it's just always taken a different, like, genre of anime. The old ones were more like a historical drama-themed anime, which do exist, but these newer ones are much more like, this one literally has, like, high school in it. I mean, I know it's kind of more like a college, but they're high school age, so I don't know if that counts. And so yeah, obviously it's grown more obviously anime influence, but the thing is, I like anime. I mean, I'm an anime fan. I've watched a lot of anime, so am I sad about this? No, not at all. It's well done, the characters are great, the game is fully voice acted, which by the way, was a thing in Shadows of Valentia. I don't think I've mentioned this, but I freaking love Shadows of Valentia. This game is so underrated, it's so good. And this game is even better somehow. I don't even know how they did it. Anyway, so let me get to my second point. It has the second reason I really think this game was like almost ideal for me, it's a little hard to describe, but let me try to frame it for you. Another thing I really like, in addition to Persona, anime, and Fire Emblem, is Dungeons and Dragons. Tabletop role-playing games in general, I love them to death. I play them every week with a group of friends. It's awesome. Many of whom you've seen as guest appearances on the show. Zachway. We don't talk about Zachway. It's not his real name. In case that wasn't obvious. We also had Jake. J-Mick, sorry. God. Anyway, so I play these D&D with these guys and more on a weekly basis, and I love it. And eventually I wanted to make a Fire Emblem role-playing game. In fact, I think I've had the rules posted on my YouTube channel and like a link for a long time, but I've been updating the game as years go by, and that one on there, don't look at it, is old and gross. Do not observe bad stuff. The new version that I've made introduced a new mechanic for leveling up your characters and customizing them differently. And this system is shockingly similar to the 1 in 3 houses, and I take full credit, honestly, for this. I didn't know anything about this. No one did, except the insiders at Nintendo. And of course they didn't copy me. There's no way they saw this. I didn't even release it to the public. But and I know you may not be inclined to believe me, but I literally spent a long time developing this new system where your character can use any type of weapon, any magic, any staff or whatever, and all you have to do is that when you level up, you get like a special customization point, and you can use that to level up your weapon ranks. And you needed a certain weapon rank in order to promote into certain classes. And that's almost exactly how they did it in this game, except of course they just kept the whole, when you use a weapon, you get skill in it. Because that works in a video game, it doesn't work on a tabletop game. You're not gonna keep track of every time you hit someone with a sword. That's one experience. Oh god, that'd be painful. Can you imagine? So, because they did it like this, there's a lot of other things that went along with it, similar to my game. And I'm not trying to, like I said, I'm not trying to take credit, but it's amazing how similar of a wavelength the creators of this game and I were on. I was like, wouldn't it be fun if you could really like customize your units and just like build them up from scratch, letting them use whatever weapons they want? It's a little weird and broken, but I thought it was fun in the game, and apparently Nintendo did too. Rather, Intelligent Systems did. And they just fucking did it. They did it. The Madmen. And it's great. I love it. I love it to death. Being able to customize all of your units to be whatever you want them to be is great. Of course, they still have natural growth rates and advantages and stuff, and they're better at some skills than others. And by skill, I don't actually mean the old skills. These are the weapon ranks that also include horsemanship, flying, heavy armor, stuff like that. But and furthermore, they have like special budding talents that you can only unlock by tutoring them with your professor and so on. Man, it's just such a diverse and excellent system. So there's a lot of each unit has a number of like different builds that are optimal for them, but you can do whatever you want with them, and that's the beauty of it. This brings me to one of my only real complaints with the game. I have two major complaints. One, the game runs at like 30 frames per second, and sometimes it dips lower than that. It's not a big deal because like I'm pretty used to it, and it's not a big problem while you're playing it. But like comparing it to most games where I play at 60 or 144 frames per second, it does feel a little sluggish. Now, it's a Nintendo Switch. I don't expect that much of it, so it's fine. This is not a big deal. The bigger complaint I have is the weird selection of classes they chose for the later classes. The early ones, you go from a progression of like nobles and commoners up to the basic classes, which you only stay in for a little while, and generally you're not going to max out. I'd like to talk about that more in detail in one of the character guides, but basically the idea is you're probably not going to want to max most of them out because there's no time for you to get a class to mastery in 5 levels. There's a new concept of class mastery. God, there's too much to talk about. Anyway, so when you get later in the game, the advanced classes are like a huge section of classes that are like really cool and diverse. Still maybe not quite as many classes as previous games, but a good selection. And then you get to the master classes, and there's fewer. There's fewer of the last tier of classes, and that's very strange to me. It feels like there should be more. And the weirdest thing is that there's so many freaking gender-locked classes in this game that it really harshly limitates your choices. Like, I was leveling up, I'm playing Black Eagles, in case you're wondering, because of course I did. Everyone chose Black Eagles. I'm an edgelord, alright? Anyway, so I'm playing Black Eagles. There's a character named Linhardt. He has really good reason and faith, so you want to use both of them. Pretty obvious, right? And you can, no problem. But the class that specializes in both faith and reason magic is only allowed by female units. So, screw you. Can't play it. Doesn't work. The cool thing about the game is that ultimately it doesn't matter that much because, like, you can play him in a full bishop class or whatever, a dark bishop, you know? And then you can still use his reason magic. It's fine. The only limitations for what stuff you can use is you can't use magic in a non-magic using class, which makes sense. I think that's fair. And you can't use gauntlets while you're riding a horse. And even then, you can dismount from your horse, even on a horse class. So it's pretty free. But there's a lot of other general classes too. All the dark classes are male only because too evil for the girls. The hero is male only because big manly hero can't have heroines like in every other Fire Emblem game. That's ridiculous. Gremory, the magic class, only women. Why? I don't know. What even is a Gremory? It's like a witch? I haven't gotten that far yet, alright? Pegasus Knights, back to only female. They were male in Fates and it was fine, but no, back to that. And finally, the freaking, like, the only axe-wielding, like, okay, not technically true, Grey Knight also exists, but the, like, infantry axe-wielding class, War Master, the only option for infantry axe wielders? Nope. Male only. The good news is there are a decent number of special classes for like main characters and stuff. I was really worried about Edelgard in particular. I was like, what the frick is she gonna go into? But of course there's like some unique classes, so I'm like, alright, I'll stop whining quite so much. The game is pretty well designed, alright? But I do wish there was a few more options in the late game. Anyway, I digress. This game is wonderful and I love it. I love it. It's so good. The characters are great. The story's been really interesting so far. And the mechanics are... mwah. Oh, okay, one more negative. It's kind of easy. I'm playing on hard classic and I've had no problem. I'm trying not to like grind, but like... I mean, I want to do the quests, which often require me to do combat in between the major battles, so... I'm just playing the game like min-maxy like I would normally, but not trying to grind too much is basically my current playthrough. But hopefully in future playthroughs, I know they're releasing a lunatic difficulty, so I'm really looking forward to trying that for sure. And maybe I'll like limit my, you know, grinding to a certain extent as well. Like maybe not even do the side mission battles or something. But some of them are so good, like you get the legendary weapons and stuff. Anyway, I'm sure you guys are enjoying Fates as well. Please let me know in the comments which house you chose, what your favorite characters are. So far, I'm kind of leaning towards like Edelgard and Petra in my group, but I honestly love the whole cast in Black Eagles. They're so great. I love each and every one of them, with a slight dislike towards Dorothea. I don't dislike her. She's not bad, but like she's lesser than some of the other characters. All right, they have such great conversations and synergy together. I love it. They've done such a good job with this game. So, anyway, please tell me where you are, what you're doing, what your favorite classes and stuff are. Anything. Tell me whatever about this game. I cannot consume enough Three Houses content, and like I said in the last video, a big part of the reason why I'm making these videos is just because I want to interact with the community and talk about this stuff, because none of my other friends have it, and I've just been spewing nonsense to them for months. They're like, would you shut up about Fire Emblem? I'm like, no, I will never shut up about Fire Emblem, but YouTube may be the only people that will listen. So anyway, guys, that's all I have to say about it for now. I will be starting character guides the minute I finish this game, because I want to get to the end, make sure I know what characters and builds actually make sense before I start spewing nonsense. But be prepared. Definitely going to be Byleth first, obviously. After that, probably going to do Edelgard and some of the other Black Eagles. But may start, you know, go and do some other routes too. If you guys really want to see characters from them, just let me know. Like I said, I will prioritize certain characters if you really need them. So that is all for now. Thank you for watching, and happy hunting. Is that a... that doesn't work. Happy hunting. No, that's not good at all. May the crest be with you. Oh, God. By the way, did you know that crest means emblem? It's the same word in Japanese, and you have the crest of flames. See what I'm getting at here? Alright, I'll leave you with that next time, guys.